Yeah, g'day, Scarvig here with another weekly update for Atlas. And they're basically going to introduce the market functionality in the next 2 or so days. And they're going to include a wipe of their servers at the same time. Apparently with the market functionality, they're not going to have the actual ships in the functionality. They're going to create a virtual ship that will just go off and do its thing. They're introducing random events, so things that might happen along the way. The ship will basically, catch fire, lose their cargo, attacked by pirates, things like that. But there'll be no physical ship for anyone to actually attack yet, so you wouldn't be able to block, you wouldn't be able to see the ship to do anything with it. However, you can apparently still blockade the ship by controlling the trade route. Now, that's not going to affect me on single player, but that's more for the people on PvP and stuff like that. They have talked about their economy side of things, so they are hoping to cause this to be the main form of gold that people will actually get, but they do mention that it's not going to be the only source of gold. You still can get whales, ships to the dams, shipwrecks, flotsam and treasure maps are all going to be other avenues for doing gold as well, which is good because I think it would be a bit silly to not have the treasure hunting as an alternative. It would be a bit silly. They do apologise for the wipe, but yeah, it sounds like they're moving away from a seasonal type scenario where it's like every few months or whatever it would have been, every set period they would do a wipe, and that would constitute a new season. Apparently they're stepping away from that altogether because of the way that their new development team is working, and they're really embracing their early access at the moment. It's almost like they've actually decided to go back to the very start and actually go, alright, well, we're now just doing development. We're not doing a release game anymore at all, and they're just going to do work. And each week they're going to try and release stuff, and if it constitutes that they need a wipe, they're going to just do it. And, it really sucks for the players who've been on there for such a long time and have invested so much into the game, but that's now their new direction, and unfortunately people are just going to have to deal with it. They are suggesting for the private servers, when this market thing comes in, that it's actually that people do a wipe, but it's apparently not necessary, but it will obviously help things. And then apparently you don't also need to have the sea forts on your private servers, which I'll be interested to see if I actually remove them from my single player, whether the trade route's still going, because it assumes that the trade routes are there, but all trade routes are open. So you could possibly have it in your single player where you don't have sea forts, and the trade routes might still happen. So I still don't even know how single player trade routes are going to happen. Whether you can actually trade for nothing between your ports, which would be a rather interesting one to do. The other things I guess of note within the patch coming up is they've reduced the weight and increased the weight of a number of different things to suit the current way things are happening with the market. So it'll be an interesting way. You'll find out when on the day how much they really weigh. But there's quite a number of multipliers there that have been thrown in. The other one is the actual cost of the crafting of the ships. And they had initially put them in as like 50 gold for a schooner, 250 for a brig, and 500 for a galleon. But now it's 5,000 for a schooner, 25,000 for a brig, and 50,000 gold for a galleon. And their justification for that is that they want people to actually feel like an upgrade is a big thing. I think they're going to have to revamp their treasures, because I've been doing treasures that it really doesn't take much to get 5,000 gold, let alone 25. It's actually quite simple. So they're going to have to rethink how the treasures work. Definitely. Warehouse. What else have we got on the warehouse? There's a warehouse change there. The radius of the warehouse. Oh, they're reducing the radius of the warehouse. I actually thought they should increase it. That seems a little bit rough to me. Why do they do this? Why not have the warehouse as a single item on the bloody island that draws from all of your owned farmhouses? I don't get that one. And yeah, that's their final note. They're basically just emphasizing that Atlas is early development. They have a drastic change in their development team, which is why things are happening very, very differently all of a sudden. And, it's always a suck and see kind of a scenario. Let's just hope that the new direction ends up being a good one. They still haven't fixed explosive barrels either. It's probably the most whinged about thing, and they've actually put a bug fix in for explosive barrels not dealing damage in the free ports. It's kind of like, well, How about they just get rid of explosive barrels? But, you know, one day they'll listen to the things that people are complaining about, but they probably have a plan for that. I actually suspect they're going to revamp the naval combat altogether eventually, but we will see. Alright, well thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.